Hey homeschool friends, welcome to the video. So today's video is my homeschool update video. I love making these. They're really fun to look back, assess, all that stuff. And today's video is February's update. So there's just something about February. I know most homeschool moms feel this. There's just a little bit more of a slog. That's what I tend to call it, the slog school of February. Sometimes January. I feel like January's a little bit better because there's a little bit of excitement coming out of the holidays, but February is always just a little bit hard. I tend to counteract that with doing a lot of planning. For those of you who haven't seen, I made kind of a brain dump type planning video that I posted last week that was just a lot of what I'm thinking about next year, and it's not very organized, it's a little chaotic, but I'm glad a lot of you resonate with me on that. So anyway, I'll link that if you haven't seen it. But that's February. So this is an update video, so I'll go through everything. I'll do kind of general life as well as family subjects, individual subjects, all the things. So let's get into that. So hey, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you have been coming for a while. Like I said, this month has been a bit of a struggle month. I mean, there's nothing really wrong. Like, I'm not planning on switching curriculum. Everything's working fine. We are totally progressing, and I will definitely share some of that stuff with you when I talk about my individual kids, but they're doing great. So honestly, things are just fine. I've just kind of lost a little pep, you know? My kids have also lost a little pep. Everybody's just a little bit down. And granted, we do have a lot of things going on in our life. Like I've shared in a couple of videos, my husband's having some health issues. He has a serious surgery coming up in April. There's just a lot going on, and that's affecting our homeschool to some extent. I mean, there's also fun things, like my son is going to start back up soccer, and so we're going to have to start planning for that. But that's like springtime. I feel like I get so much energy from springtime. So that's just kind of a hodgepodge of general life, which does affect homeschool, as you all know. But let's go on to family subjects. Let's just move into some homeschool topics. So family subjects are going well. So that's Sonlight for us, which is history, Bible, literature, and science for Sonlight. And that's all going well. I'll update you on my read alouds, which we have another stack for that for this month. But history, Bible, science, all the reading's going great. Actually, I do have something to share with you. So for Sonlight Science, I did do a recent review of the program. I'm loving it, all good things. But at that point in time, I hadn't been using the videos. So Sonlight offers videos, and for the level that we are doing, we're doing the level A. The videos have been coming out kind of all year. And the science experiments for us has been something that's very hit or miss. A lot more miss than hit. And I thought maybe I would just try the videos to see if that would help us. And it does. It's so nice. Guys, I pretty much set it up so there's very little effort on my part to do science experiments. Like, we have the Sonlight Science Kit, so they send us all the stuff. And now I have the videos where this guy, who's just really funny, my kids are cracking up the whole time as he's like teaching them. And it's still the same experiment. So it's experiment out of the big experiment book, but instead of me doing all the like backstory, talking and setting it up, he sets it up. But then the basics of what they do is still the same, and all the sheets are still the same. So it very much follows the book, but it's like someone else is leading my kids through the book. And I'm very much there because they still need help with a lot of things to do their science experiments. But it's perfect. You guys, it really, really, really works out for this season, and just my mental space, and how sometimes I'm just so tired and experiments just don't happen, even though I love experiments. I love science. So I'm so happy I spent the extra like $30 to get access to the videos. I mean, you definitely don't need to by any means. Is it a need to? It's just really nice, and it's making it so that we're actually doing the experiments every week, and the kids look forward to it and I look forward to it. So that is a great update and a great win for our homeschool. So yes, that's family subjects except for read aloud. So let me grab my stack. So here's what we have going on. I mean, honestly, this is what we finished up in February, and this is what we're working on, but let me share with you. So as for Sonlight, with HBLK, we read Boxcar Children, the first one. My kids love these. Actually, we tried to read this a while ago, like a couple years ago, and we didn't get totally through it, and it was much easier to read currently. And then my kids have been listening to a bunch of the Boxcar Children audiobooks. So it's fantastic. We love these. I mean, it's a classic. I don't really need to tell you what these are about, but it was great. My kids were engaged. They really like them. Sometimes I feel like I question whether those older books are going to resonate with my kids, but a lot of times they still do, and that's just fantastic. So the other book that we are almost done, I think we have one more day in this book because it was really, really short, is The Silver Balloon by Susan Bonners. This is just a very slow-paced but precious sort of book that my kids really like because it has to do with this boy who sends a silver balloon with a note attached that has like his address and his name, and he sends it into the air, and then it lands on this man's farm, and they start communicating back and forth and sending each other letters and little mystery gifts, and it's just really sweet. And I just love the little boy and his friend, how they're constantly trying to find adventures. He like has different rock collections, and they are into nature, and they're talking about going camping, and it's just very sweet, the things they do. And so I like it. It's a little bit set in an older time frame, like where they have to go to the library to look things up. There's no Google, but it's just a sweet book. So we're almost done with that. I don't know what's next, but next month I will let you know what our next book is for Sonlight. But as for our nighttime reading, we picked up these two books. And so I think I shared this in January's video because we had just picked these up. And like I've said before, we tend to have a boy and a girl book, and we just rotate through them, like half a chapter or a chapter of each every night. And it just depends on how much time we have. And they have both been really great. So this is Hardy Boys, the number 2 one, to The House on the Cliff. And it was a classic book. Again, this is an example of like older style writing and things like that, but my kids still really got into it. There was parts where it was a little bit like tense, like there was like smugglers and they were about to get caught, and my kids were so into it. My daughter had like big eyes, and I was like, this is good. I mean, I feel like books can push that envelope a little bit more than movies and stuff, so my kids are pretty sensitive to movies, but I feel like they can handle a little bit more in books, especially stuff like that, not like scary monsters and such. But that was really good, and my son really wants to read more Hardy Boys, but you'll see in just a second what we decided to do next. But the other book we did just finish was this one, and this was my daughter's pick, is Snazzy Cat Capers, and it's by Dina Kent. There's 3 currently, I think, and I think we'll have to pick up another one because it's about this cat who's a cat burglar, and there's this heist and a competition, and she has this little inventor, or basically little scientist fish, that helps her like solve problems and like acquire the diamond and all these things. It's really cute, and it was fun to read out loud. And there are some like pictures you can see there that it's almost comic book style. It doesn't happen too often. Most of it's just writing, but there's pictures along the way, so it makes it extra fun for them. So we finished all those, which I just loved. I love the modern and the more classic type books. And so what we just now picked up, like we started this week basically, are these 2 books. And so my daughter wanted to try some Nancy Drew. So my son thought we could keep going with Hardy Boys, but I was like, man, we can't read a Nancy Drew and a Hardy Boys, or we're just going to get confused because they are kind of similar in language. So instead we're picking up the first Nancy Drew, and I think it'll be good. I think my son will like it even if it's a main girl detective, but it's still detectives. They are super into like mysteries right now. So we picked that one up, and then we also picked this book up, which it's called The Simple Art of Flying by Corey Leonardo. And I got this book, gosh, maybe 2 years ago or more than that, from Emily's channel. So Emily from Arg Schooling, who's the developer of Build Your Library. She also sends out these read aloud book clubs where it's just one book that you can kind of share with all your family. And we picked up this one, but we didn't get very far in it for some reason. I think my kids were just a little bit young, but we're picking it back up, and it's just really cute. It's about 2 parrots, like a brother parrot and a sister parrot, and they get separated, and the brother parrot's trying to find his sister, and he's in this pet shop, and there's this boy who kind of narrates the story, who is in charge of helping out at the pet shop. And so you kind of hear from all those angles, and it's just really sweet. I think the hard part about this book initially is it's a lot of dialogue, so you have to know how to do that. So I feel like my skills as a read aloud teacher have grown, which has really helped me be able to read this better and make it more distinct in the character voices, if that makes sense. I feel like there's a lot of growth on my end as the read aloud teacher to get better at books like that. So those are our read alouds, which are just always very fun, and I love sharing those with you guys. So to move on to individual subjects. So first, my son, he's 8 years old. We're doing Saxon math, which is really going pretty well. I feel like he still stumbles on the math facts, like we're doing addition and subtraction math facts still, And I'm considering buying those little wrappers. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Let me know down below if you have found they have actually helped your kids, because I just don't want to pick up extra stuff if I feel like it's just going to sit in a box. But if it's something that he can actively be working on his addition facts and his subtraction facts by using those, I will definitely pick them up for sure. Otherwise, math is going fine. And as for language arts, we're still doing a Becca All About Reading combination. It's going well. We're tracking to end at the end of the year, and his reading has just gotten so much better, guys. So much better. So we started in July of last year, and we were just doing All About Reading, and it just wasn't going very well, or it wasn't progressing. And I was frustrated, he was frustrated, and I'm going to show you this words per minute chart because I started tracking his reading fluency, or just how fast he's reading. I don't know if fluency is the right word, but how fast he's reading. And it was difficult. Okay, so if you could see this, so down here is kind of September, October, and he was reading like in the 30s. It actually went down for a month. So he was reading in the 30s, like 30 words per minute, after you take out any mistakes and anything you had to help him with, sort of idea. And it just wasn't progressing, and it really shouldn't have been there for the beginning of second grade. And then right here is where we added a Becca. And you could see it's just gone up and up and up as the months have progressed. And so he has just really taken off with reading. And I'm not sure if he just developmentally would have anyway, but I really do think giving him more of those tools that a Becca gives and helps kids read just a little bit faster, like the 1 vowel rule, the 2 vowel rule, things like that can help them decode words a bit quicker, because it's still, both programs are phonics based, so it's not like I'm picking a sight word program or anything like that. But Becca just kind of gave him a leg up and gave him some confidence, and he has just been taking off from there. And so I'm just really proud of him. I feel like I was looking up what's average for certain ages, even though like I don't feel like I need to be tied to that. It's just nice to have the reference when I'm looking at how he's doing or assessing how he's doing with reading. But clearly that chart shows that he's progressing, so I'm really proud of him for that. And so other language arts, still doing handwriting, he's doing fine with that. And then we're still using All About Spelling for spelling. And I'm in the process of tweaking it to see if I could keep All About Spelling as an option for our family, because I'm just not sure what I want to do next year, because All About Spelling just feels too teacher intensive for my current life stage if we're going to be bringing on the twins next year in a more significant way. And so I'm looking into maybe trying to record some of the words, because I watched a video, and I cannot remember her name, but I will link the video down below where she talks about how she makes All About Spelling a little bit more independent. So I will definitely link it below, because that is what I was looking for, and she has some really good tips. And so I'm going to try a few of these at the end of this year to see how that fits and if we can make it work, because I think the program's working really well. He's learning his spelling, like it's good. It just might not be a good fit for our family going forward. So that's spelling. And then with him, we're also doing essentials in writing grade 2, and that's a lot of grammar, and that's been really good. We've liked the DVDs. We're probably not going to be able to get to the composition of EIW2 this year, because the first chunk is grammar, the second chunk is composition, but the grammar part's been really good, and I feel like that might set us up really well to potentially do some Sonlight language arts next year, which if you saw my planning video, you know that I'm kind of spinning circles around some of those subjects. But as for right now, the EIW grade 2 is working really great. We like it. He likes it. He likes the videos. He does fine with the worksheets. It's really good. So that is my son. My daughter, who is 6, she's also doing Saxon math, and she's doing fine. She's a little bit more intuitive with her math facts, and so she's just doing well. And then for language arts, she's also progressing on that. So she's combining a Becca K5 with All About Reading Level 1, and it's going great. She's actually getting to the point where she's just really excited. Like, she is literally picking up any book and trying to read it. She doesn't quite have the skills, like she's so close, but her enthusiasm is there. So I'm just like, all right, let's just pick this book instead, and I'll have her sit down and read one of the lower level books, like maybe the Good and the Beautiful box B and C and D. That's a lot of what we've been doing, and she's been doing really well with that. I mean, we also go back through her Abeka readers some, so we have lots of good reader options, especially if she's just really feeling enthusiastic. I just want to put more fuel on that fire and just get her going, because she's learning more with the Abeka. So she's got some skills. And I think as we finish out the year and go into the summer and we can practice more reading then, I think she's just going to do really well. So I'm proud of her for that as well. And then she just does otherwise handwriting. And we were doing some lightning literature as light grammar, which we do off and on. It really just depends on the week. Like I said, some weeks have been fine, other weeks have been stressful. And on just a stressful week with other things going on in our life, I don't push for lightning lit. I just skip that week. And we'll go to the next week and we'll pick up that little bit of grammar and we'll read whatever beautiful book it is, and we'll just call that good. That's success. Like, I don't feel like we need to. We just have it. And if we have the space, I'll do it and call it good, because I know she'll learn all this stuff as we go. So it's definitely not a have-to program, but it's a fun program. So we do it with her. So I feel like that's what my daughter has going on. The other thing I have to do with her is practice her lines, because for their enrichment school, she chose musical theater. So they've been working on this play for the entire year, and they're about to perform it in April. And so I have to continually practice her lines with her and practice all the songs and the dances, and she just loves it. And it's just really fun. So that's kind of another thing that we're working on just with her, but it has more to do with their school, their 1 day a week school that they go to. So it's just precious. I love that. Anyway, moving on. My twins. So my twins are boys, and they're identical boys. And it's so funny because I realized after one of you commented that I never say if they're boys or girls. I just call them the twins. Poor kids. And so they're identical boys, and they're doing really well. Like, we just got an evaluation from their preschool, and they're right on par with what they should be doing and learning, and all their different gross motor, fine motor skills and things like that. So that's just reassuring as a mom. I'm sure all you moms of preschoolers know what I mean. So that's been good. And we just try and read to them as much as we can and as much as they want us to. And then my plan is to pick up a little bit more next year, which again, I'm still working through all of that, which I got your help on last month. So thank you again for always helping me out. I'm still kind of processing and trying to figure out what my plan is. So it's fun. I love homeschool planning. It's pretty much a hobby at this point, and I am glad a lot of you can relate to that. But anyway, that is our update. That's how February went. I am so happy it's March, to be honest. Like, I just feel like spring brings me more energy and excitement. So I hope you all are doing well. I hope you have made it through those kind of dreary January, February months and are excited for some springtime. So anyway, comment down below with how your homeschool is going. Do you also get kind of the Slog-school going in February? Let me know. And if you enjoy these videos, if you like these update videos, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and otherwise I will see you in the next homeschool video. Okay guys, take care.